want, as I am, to occasionally add new books to my collection, at the rate of several a week lately, actually. I need to get more bookshelves because these are sitting in piles and they're sort of wobbling precariously at times. Anyway, I am delighted today to have acquired a copy of a book that I've been excitedly anticipating for the past while. It's called The River Boyne: Hidden Legacies, History and Lore, Explored on Foot and by Boat. And the author is Tony Holten. And now I haven't read the book as such, except for that I have managed to dip in and out and read a few sections of it today. What I can tell you about it is that it is a very, very comprehensive examination of the River Boyne, from source to sea. Something that nobody really thought about doing before. I mean, you have the likes of William Wilde's The Beauties of the Boyne and Blackwater, which I think was published in the mid-19th century. But like a modern contemporary history of the River Boyne. It's excessively comprehensive. Well, not excessively, I mean delightfully actually comprehensive. It's over 600 pages. Tremendously well illustrated throughout by photographs, maps, plans, charts, drawings, sketches. Absolutely fabulous, a wonderful insight. On the back cover it says, "In the River Boyne, the geography unfolds in a vibrant manner as the author examines the river in unprecedented detail, taking in its sources, tributaries, watermills, bridges and navigation through exploration, history and folklore." This book epitomises Tom Kettle's prediction. Geography is a prudent science, but one day she will take risks, even the risk of being interesting. The author takes a very successful risk, exploring the magnificent river by boat and on foot, inch by inch, from source to sea, possibly for the first time. Just briefly, we'll read a section to you where in the section called "The Lower Reaches, Slain to the Big Bend." So the way the book is presented is it basically starts at the source of the river in County Kildare, and there's a little section at the beginning about Sheenachtan, Nechtan's Well, the Trinity Well at Carberry, as to whether that's the true source of the River Boyne. Not going to spoil it for you. I'll allow you to buy your own copy and to read it for yourself. But this is a section where the author recounts his first visit to Newgrange in 1956, when his father had just acquired a van, and one of the first to do so. There weren't many vehicles on the roads in those days. But this is very interesting because this, of course, is pre the excavation days, when Newgrange was basically a ruined heap with trees growing out of it and cattle grazing on it, etc., etc. Newgrange was deserted then, and we had difficulty finding our way to the site. When we arrived eventually, no interpretive centre was there to greet us, just the great mound standing in the field, all overgrown by weeds and bushes. A little hut stood across the road, however, occupied by the caretaker, an older man with a droopy black hat. The interpretive centre then. The history of the place limited only by the scope of one's imagination and the old man's vivid sense of perspective. On our first visit, he took his bicycle flash lamp and some candles, then brought us across the road, through a little green wicket gate and over to the mound. Outside, beside the great stones, he regaled us with his own version of their history, and then unlocked the gate. I recall looking into the great maw of darkness and shivering. It was the first cave I had ever seen, and the dank smell, together with the darkened interior, was very scary. The old man reached inside and clicked a switch. Then we could see up along the crooked gallery. The huge stone passageway stretched into the distant gloom, now illuminated by a few weak light bulbs suspended from ordinary brown flecks. It was intensely cold inside, but dry as a bone. After negotiating the tortuous passageway and arriving at the chambers, we were entertained by more yarns, followed by his version of the big stone basin with the indented impressions on its base. Although I cannot recall most of what he said at this remove, they seemed to be good yarns at the time. Departing the gloomy, eerie place, we were happy to be back outside, though blinded by the brilliant sunlight. Not another tourist could be seen, just a few sheep and cattle grazing on the lush grass. The old man locked the gate, bade us good day, and returned to his little hut. On subsequent visits, when not feeling too good, he handed the flash lamp and keys to Dad, saying, "Make sure yous switch off the lights on the way out. Sure, it's supplied from my own meter." This tale illustrates the difference between then and now. In the 1950s, very few people visited the site, whereas nowadays an ultra-modern interpretive centre greets thousands of visitors from many parts of the world. Not Bob Hickey, the old fella with the slouched hat. And that's from the River Boyne by Tony Holten. And it looks like a fabulous production, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy every bit of it. Available, I presume, in all good bookshops in the area.